Some might think that being paid to act is a pretty easy and fun job, but there's a lot more to it. It can often be a very consuming craft that has actors going to extreme effort to take on certain roles. Today on Beyond the Screen, we're talking about celebrities who needed therapy after taking on a movie role. I'm your host for this one, Just Bedard. Thanks for coming back or checking us out. If this is your first time, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to keep hanging out. In spot number 10, we have Anne Hathaway. The role in Les Miserables was, I'm saying it weird, y'all, because it's kind of French and it's coming out really weird. But anyways, the role was not only emotionally straining for the actress, but it was also physically straining as she lost weight for the role and chopped off her hair. She said her diet consisted of lettuce and oatmeal paste in order to lose the weight to take on her tragic character, which was a lot to come back from after the movie was done. When speaking about her experience during an interview, she said, "I was in such a state of deprivation, physical and emotional. When I got home, I couldn't react to the chaos of the world without being overwhelmed. It took me weeks till I felt like myself again." The only good news that came from all the strain that she went through was that her performance won her an Oscar. And if you haven't seen it, it was well deserved. Oatmeal paste, also what is that? That sounds disgusting. Cruising into number 9 is Margot Robbie. You would think she would be completely unbothered after watching her take on the role as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, but apparently she had a more difficult time when filming I, Tonya. She took on the role of the vilified figure skater Tonya Harding, which seemed to have come at a big cost. She revealed that she needed weekly MRI scans after herniating a disc in her neck. But her physical health was actually the least of her worries. She got so lost in her role that her real life became dangerously blurred for her at times. During an interview, she said, "I had lost my mind. I genuinely thought we were these people, and we were off the set, running down the street, screaming at each other, and the cameras were running after us." Things got especially hard for her because her character had to be in an abusive relationship, which she found very emotionally traumatic for her, even off camera. Making his way into number 8 is Leonardo DiCaprio. His role in The Revenant brought him a lot of praise and even an Oscar award, but it wasn't all glitz and glam. The actor went to extreme lengths to play the role of a man who has to go to crazy lengths in order to survive. He didn't have stunt doubles to do all of these scenes for him either. He actually filmed in sub-zero temperatures, did river dives in freezing temperatures, wore frozen bear skin, and even ate real raw liver. If you've seen the movie, that is real. Like, he could have used something fake, but no. He committed. Of course, he got sick during the filming process, which isn't a surprise after what I just said, but it was all the physical strain that also brought him some mental struggles. He says the movie took him to a mental place that he never imagined could happen, and though he was thrilled to win an Oscar, he did struggle with this experience. During an interview, he said, "I'm not complaining about the difficulty of it, but it took us all somewhere that we never imagined." Well, I can imagine. Like, they can't fake the temperatures and things like that. Like, did you have to eat real liver? I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. Method acting. Up next, number 7 is Christina Applegate. This one wasn't a movie role, it was actually a TV series that left the actress in therapy afterwards. So I'm counting it, because it still somewhat counts. Netflix renewed her show Dead to Me for a second season after the dark comedy received praise from audiences and critics. Of course, she was thrilled for the good news, but she also had some nerves knowing she would have to film a second season. This was because she said the role took a physical and emotional toll on her. There were some physical aspects that took a toll, like having to dance, which she said was very hard on her 47-year-old body, but it was the mental side of the role that had a lasting effect. During interviews, she revealed that she had to draw from her own personal losses to get to where she needed to be for her scenes, and that obviously caused her to need to go to therapy to get through those personal emotions. She said, "It tapped into some stuff that I had to face. Did I start therapy after I shot the show? Yes, absolutely. I love a celebrity who will admit that they're in therapy. There should be no shame about it." Rolling into number 6, we have Shelley Duvall. She played the iconic role of Wendy Torrance in The Shining, which would be any actor's dream, but it actually turned out to be mental torture, according to the actress. The movie shot for 13 months, and the infamous baseball bat scene took up to 127 takes. If you don't recall the scene, it requires Shelley's character to scream in terror and cry the entire time. The actress said she spent 12 hours a day just screaming, and that trying to give that level of performance every day was almost unbearable. She explained how much it took a toll on her mental health and said, "To wake up on a Monday morning morning so early and realized that you had to cry all day because it was scheduled, I would just start crying. She revealed that the emotional strain actually put physical strain on her as well, explaining that her body would basically rebel and tell her to stop crying every day. She said that she would cry off camera just thinking about the scenes, and crying she would have to do at work the next day. 127 takes. Come on. If the act, like, I'll be damned if I'll be like, bro, you need to get your directing in check if I have to do this 127 times. Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Heather Donahue. Her acting career was short-lived because her breakaway role had left her scarred and turned her away from the industry. She took on the lead role in the iconic movie The Blair Witch Project, which was an unusual movie shoot that left her with constant anxiety. All of the cast have spoken about it and agreed that they did not have an enjoyable filming experience. As they plunged into the woods to film, they didn't know exactly what the directors had planned, so they were deliberately alarmed every night, which kept them in a state of constant anxiety. A lot of the scares and emotions that we see in the movie are actually real, you guys. Not only that, but the movie's unusual marketing technique forced her to pretend the movie plot was real before the movie even came out. She had to pretend in real life that she was no longer alive. She talked about the strange experience and said, "My obituary was published when I was 24. It's a complicated thing to be deceased when you're still very much alive and eager to make a name for yourself." So after the movie, she ended up quitting acting, and she is now a novelist and screenwriter. Can you imagine? I understand the whole marketing technique they did to make it feel like those kids were disappeared, but do you tell your family? How do you tell your boss at work, like, I'm not dead? Taking over spot number 4 is Bob Hoskins. The actor had an incredible career and will always be remembered and loved for his role in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. What appeared to be a really fun movie to film, the actor had to spend hours a day talking to and acting alongside fictional characters that weren't actually there. Seems like fun, maybe, but apparently it was a lot more difficult than anyone thought. Bob spoke about how difficult it was and wrote in a note that he had learned how to hallucinate during the filming process. He explained that he would constantly hear the voices in his head of the characters that were never there while he was filming. When shooting, he found himself constantly talking to himself and even hallucinating that Roger was sitting in the same room as him. Things got very intense for him that when he spoke to his doctor actually advised him to take a break from acting during that time. I mean, yeah, imagine talking to nothing for an entire movie shoot. An entire movie shoot. Nothing. Like, oh, like you're just I would go crazy. And the third spot is Adrien Brody. The actor's physical transformation for the 2002 movie was obvious, but no one knew about the mental and emotional strain that he went through until he opened up about it. He discussed how hard it was for him to take on the role of a Holocaust survivor, and even though he won the Academy Award for his performance, he said it was at a high cost. He told BBC that to prepare for the role, he gave up his apartment, sold his car, disconnected his phones, and moved to Europe. But the most difficult part was the emotional effect of starvation that he found was the most surprising and most difficult to deal with. He said, "I've experienced loss, I've experienced sadness in my life, but I didn't know the desperation that comes with hunger." Things were actually so intense for him that he said it took a year and a half to even settle back into regular life once he had finished filming. Y'all, I get so cranky when I'm hungry, I can't even imagine. Actually, I can, because he got paid a lot of money, so I would do it. Rolling into number 2, we have Dakota Johnson. While many people know her from 50 Shades of Grey, she's also known for her outstanding performance in Suspiria. She played an inspiring ballet dancer in the movie that was a reboot of the 70s horror classic. The role took such a toll on her that she admitted to feeling very low and needed professional help to recover from the role. She spoke to Elle and said, "No lie, Suspiria effed me up so much that I had to go to therapy." She said the shooting process itself was not traumatic, but when the movie was wrapped, she turned to her therapist to help manage her emotions. She explained that when she takes on a role, she tends to absorb a lot of the people's feelings, so when working with such a dark subject matter, it stayed with her even after filming was over. In our number 1 place is Heath Ledger. His performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight was so chilling that it landed him an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, and it is still talked about to this day. Sadly, he tragically passed away before being able to accept his award for this legendary performance. The years following his passing, rumors spread claiming that the movie was part of his demise. Reports claim that he took the role very seriously and took the method acting a little bit too far. It's been said that before filming began, he put himself in strict isolation, keeping a diary of disturbing images as a way to help him enter the realm of a psychopath. Even when he wasn't on set, it's been said that he was struggling to shake the character in his real life. Before passing, he talked about the filming process and told the New York Times, I quote, "I probably slept 2 hours a night. It was actually a mixture of painkillers and sedatives that ultimately took his life, so people often blame the movie role for his tragedy." Alright guys, that's our list for today. Before I head out, I'm going to do some comment shoutouts. Carol Bullard says, "I'm kinda shocked that Laurie's daughter Olivia is on Dancing with the Stars too soon in my opinion. I honestly didn't know this. Too soon in my opinion as well, like her mom literally just went to prison. But sure, let's put her on Dancing with the Stars." Nicole Lloyd says, "I love your content and the way you host. Some of these I had no idea about. So informative." That makes me happy. I do the best I can, trying to put a lot of information into about 5 or 6 sentences. It's not as easy as it sounds. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Leave a like, subscribe, do all the things. I was your host for this one, Joss Bedard. I'll see you next time. Bye.